Okay, so we are getting started. Introduce yourself.
Closer?
Yeah,
How's that?
yes.
Okay. My name's Karen. I'm 29. Uh, she, her.
She, her. Oh, she
We
said
got
the
it.
pronouns.
We got a she, her in the house. Hey. What are your pronouns, Alexis? Your pronouns today?
I'm a she, her.
All of the above.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry to interrupt your intro, Karen.
No, that was perfectly fine.
Thanks for coming on, joining us.
I was gonna say, I have a hard time starting off the podcast when it's like a person we're interviewing. Um, I think I just come off too like polished and professional. Like,
Formal.
hello, introduce yourself, and what is your name, and how do you
all,
do?
robotic.
Yeah.
No, I like that. That's
Okay, so Karen, 29.
29.
You're from where?
I'm originally from LA, so LA native.
Okay. Are you from the Alhambra area?
I'm from the Alhambra area.
Were you a little kid and you were raised around here?
Yeah, Alhambra.
Okay.
Pretty much for 15 years, and then on and off, I was going back and forth from like Santa Barbara, Bakersfield,
Oh,
San
wow.
Diego, and then back
Cool.
to Alhambra.
Back to Alhambra. You made it back.
I made it back.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We went to Alhambra High School.
We did.
You went there too?
I went there too.
Yeah, good times, right?
Good times. I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
Depending on how you experienced high school.
Did you hate Alhambra too?
I have a love-hate relationship.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
What year did you graduate?
2011.
Okay, this is the year after us.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was for us it was really bad. Like our last senior year was like
We were triggered just being here.
yeah, we were talking about that when she got in the car.
I never come to Alhambra anymore. Like, I live nowhere near here. After high school, like, I never came back to Alhambra. So
I can understand that.
Like,
I can understand that.
yeah, being
Fully.
back, it's like weird memories. Like, I had a really good friend who lives like literally down the street from here, and like, I don't know, it's just so weird being back. But cool that you have been here.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's kind of hard sometimes just like passing by certain areas, and there's certain things that we experience growing up in high school, but I come to terms that like it happened.
Yeah.
I'm
Did
over
you
it.
hate high school? Did you have a good time?
I think like half of it was pretty rough for me, like the first 2 years.
Why would you say that? Or you don't want to talk about it?
No,
Should we not talk about high school?
I could, yeah. I won't go into depth about it.
You can.
It's a really long
That's fine.
story.
We got time.
I think for the most part, it was just like trying to find my group of people that I can stick with.
I feel that.
And I had trouble finding those people like my freshman and sophomore year. So I did branch out, and I left friend groups, which was pretty sad.
Yeah.
But then I found my best friend. We've been friends since like kindergarten.
Aww.
So we rekindled though.
Oh, okay.
Really
so
weird.
You guys stopped being friends at some point?
Yeah.
Or like kind of just like grew apart for a bit?
And then we came back. And then it was just me, her, and this other girl. So it was very, like, my last 2 years were very calm and chill.
Oh,
I kept it that way.
Nice.
Focus on my studies. I was kind of a nerd, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you ever bullied, or you don't want to talk about that?
No, I actually do like talking about this because I feel like people don't really, they kind of just brush it off and leave it in the past.
Right.
But, I was bullied a lot my first 2 years.
Yeah, because like in the last episode, me and my boyfriend were talking about how he got bullied. And he kept trying to like avoid the question, but I was like pushing it. And he eventually like talked about it, and yeah, he was bullied when he was in elementary school too. We didn't get to like high school, and I don't think he was bullied in high school, but yeah, I mean, I think it's something that people need to talk about more often because it's actually really common.
Yeah.
And I think
like the awareness of it, to have more awareness that it's happened to a lot of people, and people think it doesn't happen anymore, but it still is, definitely. And I don't know, like, how did you kind of overcome that bullying? You said you broke off from friend groups.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a lot of the friend groups that I went into didn't happen organically. It just felt really like forced, like kind of like in the movies, like where you see people like recruit someone just because of the way you look, you know. And but I was a totally shy person, and I would just follow, you know, the leader of the pack or something, which I did not want to do that. I kind of want to be my individual like self, and you know, do my own thing instead of like following
That's good.
popular group.
Yeah.
Well, so-called popular. I don't know if they were, but
Yeah.
um
Yeah, that's good that you did
but
that.
yeah,
You gave yourself some space from that.
yeah, it honestly it's a learning process though for everyone. So, you know, I feel like you should really understand the people that you hang out with. Like, don't just follow them. Don't just be with a group of people just because you feel that that's going to help you in high school as far as, you know, like society. And like, I mean, I wouldn't say that high school for me was like that cliche, you know, like bully kind of situation. It was more so like there was just two particular people that were always calling the shots or always wanting to do something.
Everyone listened to them, very controlling. Okay.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
I feel like Alhambra High School was toxic, like in general. Like it doesn't matter if you were popular, you had a good time or a bad time. Like I feel like even a lot of the teachers were toxic too. Did you have a good experience, like academically?
Up until like my junior year, yeah, and then I kind of just I fell off the wagon.
But that was like you, or was it because of like the teachers there like weren't pushing you, things like that?
I'm not gonna name any names.
Yeah, that's fine.
But there were a few teachers, yeah, that didn't understand where I was coming from and didn't try enough.
Yeah, for sure.
I think, yeah, so I can see how it could have been toxic.
Okay, so let's kind of navigate the conversation a little more.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Alhambra, basically, right?
Yeah.
What is your background? Like, what ethnicity, race are you? What do you consider yourself?
I'd identify more with being Mexican American.
Okay.
I'd say.
Both of your parents are Mexican?
From Mexico.
Okay. Cool.
My mom came in to the U.S. around 3, from what I remember. My dad a little later. I think he was a teenager. I don't know too much about like my ethnic background, but I actually did like a DNA.
Okay, like 23 me, is that what that's called?
Yeah,
Ancestry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just found out that I'm native to like Durango. I had a conversation with my dad that, because I never really came across like talking about this kind of thing until I got into college. I started growing more interested in where I come from,
right,
and where my dad spent most of his days.
Yeah.
So yeah, he spent most of his time in Colima, and my Spanish is so bad though. By the way,
me too. Yeah, we're no sabos over here, so don't feel ashamed.
Spanish. I'm on Duolingo though.
Me too.
I would consider myself Mexican American too, because like people are like, "What are you?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm Mexican." I mean, I'm other things too, but like I'll just say Mexican. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
But like I very much identify with Mexican American because like I'm super Americanized.
Yeah.
And it's annoying.
You're actually more Salvadorian than you are Mexican though, because your dad is from El Salvador.
Yeah, but my dad's dad is what's called Middle Eastern.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, from I think Palestine.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm also Middle Eastern. Like my dad's half Middle Eastern.
Okay, that's so cool.
Yeah.
But so your DNA, that means that your DNA is actually more Middle Eastern and Salvadorian, because your mom's like second gen, right?
Well, my mom wasn't born here. I mean, my mom was born here, and so was my grandma. So I'm like third generation.
Okay, so kind of going a little bit backwards to, you know, being younger. would you consider yourself an introvert or extrovert, and have you changed like as you have grown?
Yeah, definitely when I was younger, I was for sure introverted. Just coming from like a family of, I only have one brother.
Also, quick question to tie in.
Mhm.
Would you say your culture has anything to do with you being an introvert or extrovert?
Mm, that is a very good question, actually. I wouldn't say that though. I think it was just like my upbringing. I was just kind of like a closed off person, and I was really close with my brother. So everything he would do, I was this little like
You would
sidekick.
copy. He was your older brother?
Oh yeah, 1 year older.
Okay. Just because for me, I've taken the time to kind of like learn more about myself, and I used to be really shy when I was little too, and I still kind of am actually
Mm.
in social settings. I would still consider myself pretty closed off and shy, and I think that's more of like a defense mechanism for me. I don't want people to judge me right away because I don't make good impressions, like first impressions at all. So I'd rather just like stay quiet and observe people and
Mm.
see like how what vibe I can like fit
Yeah.
into. Um Not necessarily for, I don't know. I don't want to say it's like a people pleasing type of mechanism because it's definitely not. I really don't. I'm growing out of like the people pleasing. I
Mm.
think at some point maybe I did people please. And I think everyone does at some point too.
Mm.
But yeah, I would say like I've learned that some of my culture has to do with me being shy. Some of just being a girl has everything to do with me being shy. Um, and it's also just probably a part of my personality too,
Mm.
which is why I asked you, like, do you think your culture ties in, or is that just like you? Do you feel like it's just you?
I feel like it's more
It's
me.
just you.
I've kind of been like the black sheep of the family, and I've always like
Why do you think you're the black sheep?
I'm just like a little like outside of what my mom is used to, or what she entails is like, okay, this is good and this is bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always challenged her and rebelled
Yeah.
in some sense. But I was a very clever child, so she always looked at me as the good child as well. But you know, me and my brother, again, like me and my brother were very close.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the things we did together were, um, we did things similar. We would like stay out late. We would hang out with his friends. But I'd still stick with like being introverted because even though I was outside, I wasn't really like talking to anyone. I was just kind of like observing.
Yeah.
I was a young kid, like with my, like people would refer me as Marco's old, young sister,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't call me by my name.
Right.
So
Would that ever frustrate you?
sometimes it
Yeah,
did.
right.
Yeah, sometimes it did.
I remember when I was younger and I would like have boyfriends in high school or something, and some people would refer me as that person's girlfriend, and that would actually bother me
Yeah.
because I was kind of closed off still. And so people didn't really know me for me. They knew me as like who I was dating, and that always like kind of
Like, you didn't have a name or what? Like, why didn't they say your name?
at towards the end of high school, obviously like I was known for me. But I would say my first 2 years of high school, I was probably known as someone's girlfriend, and that really fucking bothered me. Um, but I was going to ask you to tie it in as well. What's your experience on dating apps if you have partaken in any apps?
Oh my god. Okay, so I recently looked into a few dating apps actually. Um
What's the good one?
luckily.
Tinder? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, funny thing is I did start with Tinder.
Yeah.
And then I ended there.
That was it, yeah.
It was okay Cupid. Me and my friend were just going on there, just playing around, and she made the profile for me. So it was more of a
Nice.
joke.
You didn't have to do all the work.
I didn't do all the work.
Yeah.
She literally just wrote down like the silliest things, like I drink tequila for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Probably got a lot of replies.
And then it wasn't just me in the photo, it was her too. So a lot of people would be like, wait, is this a couple kind of thing?
Yeah, there's
like,
a lot of
throuple?
those too, so damn.
You were on dating apps too, or you still are?
I'm not anymore. I'm not anymore. I deleted it.
Okay.
I just confirmed.
Why? Why? Yeah. Tell me both about your experiences in dating apps.
Well, you know me, I'm real shallow,
You know
so there was like no cute girls on it. So I was like, this app is stupid. I was on Hinge.
What is Hinge?
It's just a dating app, but
Is that for LGBTQ plus people?
it's for everyone.
Okay.
And then I also tried Bumble, which was okay. But honestly, like I think I do better in person. Like if I were to meet like several dates in person than like messaging them, like I feel like I could be really awkward in messaging. So I was like, I shouldn't do this anymore. What about you?
For me, it's funny. I felt like Tinder was more of like a networking app for me because every guy I was dating, they just so happened to be like in the film industry or like anything related in like music or film, and I'm like very like well I mean I guess that you could say I have some knowledge in there because I used to do some promoting here and there. But yeah, like I'm actually fun fact, I'm working on a short film right now.
What?
So it was so convenient because I was meeting all these guys that were, you know, future filmmakers. So instead of actually dating them, I just networked and we just said
Made connections.
made
Yeah,
connections
that's
instead.
awesome. So you're making a short film right now? Like you're in it or you're making it?
No, I'm gonna be like on the tech side of things. Not acting or anything like that.
So like editing?
Editing,
Directing?
some directing. I'm trying to keep my like my position in this film like very, how would I put it?
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, pretty much behind the scenes, but I just don't want to take too much responsibility for it because it's mainly my friend's idea. He's writing the story, so I'm letting him call all the shots, and then I'll just like help with whatever I can do, like lighting, props.
That's so cool.
That is super cool.
Is it
She really likes film too. I mean, a lot of people like. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She really likes film too, even though you can't see anything. And if you're listening, I'm pointing at Jasmine. She, her, they, them. Yes. So that's actually really interesting. Yeah. So you guys are kind of just like starting off doing your first film together.
We've actually worked on
Multiple?
2 films
Okay.
prior to this, but it wasn't any of our ideas. It wasn't something that we wrote up. We were just like acting in it. So after that, my friend made his own film, and now he's working on a second one. He asked me for help, so
Okay.
we've always kind of been, you know, like in each other's lives and just helping each other for
That's
film.
really cool. Have you taken an interest in acting? Is that something that you would like to pursue?
You know what? I thought I did. I originally went into school thinking I was going to be an actress or like at least get into like background acting, which I did. But I just realized that it wasn't for me only because the industry is so competitive
Right.
and racist.
Yeah.
And
toxic.
It's so toxic. Even trying like a young woman getting into film, I have been harassed, like verbally harassed and sexually from so many men in my class.
Right.
Including my professor.
Oh
like,
God.
It was like the worst experience ever. And after that I just realized like, okay, you know what? Forget this. Like I don't need to get educated on this anymore. I can just do my own thing. I took whatever I learned.
Right.
And I'm just going to work with my friends and see where we go.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it too. Yeah, I mean, that's really sad that that is a common thing that women experience, especially just in the entertainment industry in general. It's like you kind of it's like a pastime where you had to like sleep your way to the top, and it's like guys still think that they
really
can get away with that.
It really is. Like a lot of people say that it doesn't happen, but it does.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and especially because there's always drugs, you know, drugs, sex, all that. Like
Yeah.
it's in the industry, and people, men always try to take advantage.
Yeah, and I think also because it's such a vulnerable experience, a lot of people, there's probably a lot of transplants. There's probably a lot of people just nervous being in the industry. And so like to loosen up, they'll drink or they'll do like some
Mm-hmm.
drugs to like feel more comfortable, and then shit starts happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think it would take for like a Mexican or Latino girl to actually make it in the film industry nowadays? You think it would take that, like being able to handle harassment and stuff?
Oh boy, I hope not.
Because like there are some Latinas like coming up now in the industry, right?
They are. I think a lot of it though is I feel like more and more people are working independently,
Mm.
and I think you should use that to your advantage because that's the only way you can kind of like choose your part or try to choose like where you want to where you see yourself growing in the film industry because in like in big Hollywood a lot of times they're not going to give you chances. You're going to get rejected so many times.
Mhm.
And it's just like why waste your time?
Yeah, how many times do you want to get rejected? Like I know it's okay to get rejected like a few times and learn from it, but it's like endless, right?
Yeah. And how many times do you want to like stay in the same stereotypical role?
Right. And it's like, yeah, it's definitely networking that's in Hollywood, right? So it's who you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like people that actually don't deserve to be in Hollywood that are in Hollywood, and you can see it through all the shitty films that are being, they're
To this
in
day.
in the theater nowadays. Like, I don't ever want to go to the movies because there's hardly any good movies to see,
Yeah. I feel
and
that.
it's just like very rare that like sometimes I'll give movies a chance, and I'm just like, great, like I knew this shit was gonna happen because it's
Yeah.
so boring. It's so uncreative. It's very
Predictable.
just like a sequel, a prequel. It's a spin-off. Yeah. So, and it's like, and then not only that, but you're ruining the previous film, the original film.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like so annoying. So I know there's so many people in Hollywood that actually don't deserve to be in Hollywood, and it's just like a gatekeeper community in some way.
Do you have a favorite movie?
I do. That's a tough one.
Yeah. Sorry.
I would like currently or like my all-time favorite.
Your all-time favorite.
Or like a top 5.
Okay, that's
Probably
better. Yeah, I think
Top
that
5. Okay, fine. I'm like, what's the one only?
Let's see. So I like stuff like Tim Burton, Nightmare Before Christmas. That actually inspired me to do more art and possibly do animation, but I haven't explored that area yet. But animation, any kind of animated film, I feel like there's just like a deeper love that I have in that area because it's just I don't know if it's just me. Like in my opinion, live action films are very hard to digest or like I don't want to offend like anyone or just like because
like live action films are basic.
Basic
you know
AF.
how some people take ideas from animes and they make it into a live action.
Yeah,
Like I
totally.
could never relate with a lot of live action movies.
Okay, so let's rephrase the question to suit you.
Mm.
What are your top favorite animes that you watch?
Okay, now we're talking. It sounds so basic.
It's fine. We probably don't know some of them.
Okay, no, you might know. You might know, like
Pokemon.
No. I mean, yes,
It's a
I
good
love
show.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon.
Yeah. Okay.
Hayao Miyazaki's films like Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away. A recent one that my man introduced to me was Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man.
It's the funniest anime. It's the funniest. It's a little cringy, but it's so funny. I love horror, so there's a lot of like.
She loves horrors too.
There's gore in there, so you'll probably
What
love
is it
that.
on?
Crunchyroll. Pearl is another cool movie though.
Pearl?
Yeah, it's like a horror classic that just came out.
I
I watched
didn't
X
watch
as well. You gotta watch Pearl.
Okay. Have you ever watched Jaws?
I've watched Jaws.
I hate that you don't hold the mic, you freaking lazy ass.
Because I was like gonna say like a whole bunch of stuff. Do you like Jaws, or do you think it's like the shark looks too fake, or?
Oh man, it's been a while though. I would have to watch it again. Like when
yeah.
you watch movies when you're younger,
Mm.
and you just your perspective's different.
It's like blurry. You're like, I've
Yeah.
seen it. It's in the background. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rewatch it, and because every time I tell people like I love Jaws, they're like, that movie sucks. It's like so old. The shark looks fake. I'm like, haters, man.
The
like,
general idea of it though is pretty cool.
And I think you also have to watch the movie in that time period. Like, put yourself in that time period and like see the movie for what it was during that time. And then I think once you can change your perspective on like watching a movie during a certain time period, that's when you're a little more open-minded.
Yeah.
Because everything's like fucking CGI now. Everything looks great and realistic most of the time. So
CGI looks fake to me.
yeah, it does, but to like younger people, that's like all they know. Imagine.
That's interesting. That reminds me of the movie Dune. I think that
the new one
just came out, but if you watch the original,
I haven't, but
it's so weird.
I think
it is so weird.
That one has like I can't remember his name, but that director is like always does surreal type films.
Yeah, kind of like I'm trying to remember his name. Stan.
No, I don't think it's Stan.
Stan Broker. No, Stan Broker.
No,
that was a book, I think.
I can't remember his name, but yeah, he's like he did like Twin Peaks, right?
Yeah.
And like all those types of shows and movies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, but I'm not really closed off. The only reason why I say live action is really hard for me to like kind of like relate with it, only because like I overlook everything ever since I got into like film. I got into the technical side, and it changes you when you learn about that stuff. You don't see films the same way anymore, and you kind of become this snob, but I'm trying to get away from that.
Oh, okay.
You're always like, wait,
now I really want you to watch Jaws and tell me what you think.
Oh no! I'd probably be like the worst person to watch a movie with. I'd be like, oh no, that
like
should have been an
super
extreme
critical.
close up. That's awful. Like, look, someone's like cell phone is in a 1970s film.
Okay. Do you have any favorite live action shows? Or is it more just like also animation?
No, I do. Yeah, I do watch shows. This is gonna be like a very popular answer.
That's
like,
fine.
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us. Oh yeah, that was such a good show.
So sad.
You liked it?
Yeah, you didn't like it?
I thought it was kind of boring.
It's slow.
Yeah, it's very slow. Reminded me of The Walking Dead,
Mhm.
and I couldn't get into Walking Dead, but I want to play the video game.
Yeah.
And I think the characters, what are they called? The monsters? They have a name. Yeah, the mushroom monsters. They were really cool.
Fungi. The fun guys.
I thought they did a good job at like creating those characters. They looked really cool. Yeah, that was a good show. I liked it too. Have you seen do you watch more like recent shows, or like you're kind of in the past right now with shows?
I go back and forth. But if there is like a good show that's recent, I will go as far, because like the only streaming service I have right now is Netflix and HBO Max.
Okay,
but
those are the best ones.
But if like something comes up on another app, I'll definitely like pay for it. I'll be like, all right, just for this 1 month, it's just solely based on this show.
Yeah,
like sign me up.
Did you watch Beef?
I haven't yet. That's actually on my watch
it?
list.
Oh, that's a good one.
Everyone says that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know these are basic ones. I'm just trying to be relatable here.
Well, last time you were talking about the Black Mirror.
Oh yeah.
Did you watch the new Black Mirror?
I watched that with my boyfriend like 2 nights ago.
Black Mirror? Oh, okay, so you did see it.
Yeah, I watched all of it, but I was really high, so
Probably best.
Yeah, probably.
I was a little disappointed in this season, just now that I finally finished it. Not that it was the worst. I don't know if there is like the worst season. It might be, but I just didn't, I wasn't like a huge fan of it. I wanted to like see more of.
I think it was better
I wanted it to be weird.
than the last season.
The one with Miley
Yeah, I
Cyrus.
think it was better than that. I think it was better than the last season, at least. And like the whole, I don't want to give it away, but there's one episode where you think the girl is on drugs, but really she's, you know, full moon.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
Crazy.
cool. That's
Yeah.
super cool. Like I didn't expect that. And the astronaut one too. Like me and my
Ooh, that was my favorite episode.
yeah, me and my friend were watching it. We were like guessing the whole time, like, oh, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. Then the end happens, and we're like, we both didn't expect that.
That's what I
That's
love.
the cool thing about Black Mirror, at least when I watch it, is that I'm like trying to figure it out. I'm one of those annoying people that tries to figure shit out before I finish watching it. And they like always throw me for like another one, and I'm just like, oh shit, I didn't think that was gonna happen.
Those are the best. They
Yeah.
like psychologically get to you.
Yeah.
Were you like, oh yeah, that was a surprise, or
I didn't think it was predictable actually.
Okay.
That's what I loved about it.
mm-hmm.
A lot of that reminds me of what's his name? Jordan Peele's films. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just watched Nope.
Yeah.
That one was a little weird. That one was crazy.
Very weird, for sure.
But that's what I love about some of these filmmakers. They just come up with originals, and I love that.
We
I
need
like that
more
too.
Jordan Peele's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's very original.
Those psychological thrillers.
So since your side project is working on a film right now, do you have any other side projects or things that you do on the side?
Yeah. Currently, well, actually, I've started. So I've always had this, like in my background, like growing up. I volunteered at my Humane Society. So I always worked with like dogs and cats. So I decided to start a side hustle or small business in dog sitting or dog walking. And I've done that for about a year and a half.
Okay.
And it's going pretty well. The only issue with that is LA is a competitive place for a lot of careers, but I think one of the challenges is just finding clients, just building that stable clientele so you can make a living out of it. And like part of me was trying to get out of that 9 to 5 and just start my own business and see if I can make a decent living. But it's also hard out here. It's hard out here for, us dog walkers. So,
there are a lot of other dog walkers?
There is. There is.
So you started volunteering and then you were like, oh, I really enjoy this. I want to like start making money from it. So did you like go on an app? Because I know there's apps for it too, right?
Yeah, I first started actually with I went on Craigslist, and I signed up for pet sitters in LA. I didn't like it. I did not like it. A lot of these apps, I guess you would say, or like companies, they take a huge portion of money out of your rates, and it's just ridiculous. Like I was working like all day. The only good thing was they always had a job for me, but it's just like that cut, they got like a huge cut out of it.
Yeah,
so
they find the customers for you, so that's their price. Yeah. So how are you finding your customers now?
Now it's solely just like I'm doing my business independently. I reach out to them. I'm working on like advertising and like marketing. I've actually moved on to relying on Instagram for like my advertising. So
that's where you post about it?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do people book with you? Through Instagram, like your website?
So not necessarily. They don't book me. I'm actually starting to make money off Instagram now that I'm monetized. So that's where I was like, okay, this is a good idea. I can start making money on Instagram now. But hopefully maybe I'll get more clients through there. I haven't been working on it lately due to some events. But yeah, it's definitely like a learning process for me right now.
Okay. Do you have a business name?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
That's a good idea, though.
I was gonna ask that too. Okay, so you're still fairly new.
Mhm.
What, I know you said that volunteering inspired you, but like you can also just keep volunteering. What inspired you to like start a business out of it and make money out of it?
So I think the inspiration came from mostly just like loving and caring for animals, and like that was an outlet for me. But then something just sparked, and I was like, you know what? I'm tired of the 9 to 5.
Right.
Why don't I just move on to something that I actually enjoy,
Right.
and make a living out of it? So that's why I.
So what also made you think that you could do this? Like what's the fire, like where is that coming from? There's like, to do something, to try to start on your own, to make your own money, to take initiative to start your own film, like there's some fire inside of you. Like where is that coming from? And like, yeah, like kind of talk about.
You know what? It's just I guess I could go into depth about it. Like,
Yeah, please do.
You know, I don't last too much at certain jobs because my capacity, like my mental capacity in certain environments, it's shit. And I just can't take shit from bosses anymore. So I just came to a conclusion that like I'm not good. I'm not good with this kind of life, you know? Like I want to do things my way. I want to be able to call the shots. You know, I want to do something better. I want to be able to like also inspire other women to,
Right.
you know, take part in like their business. Like just do it.
Yeah.
You know, I've also just taken initiative in a lot of areas in my life, and I've never mastered in things. I've always been like here and there, like Jill of all trades.
Yeah.
So
I'm the same, like that too.
Yeah, so I felt like, you know what, I'm good with dogs. I'm good with animals.
Yeah.
That's something definitely that I've mastered my whole life.
Consistent.
Yeah, it's the only consistent thing I've done in my
That's
life
really
so
cool.
far.
I always feel like I'm inconsistent, which is why I'm trying to like still maintain this podcast.
Yeah.
And I have fun doing it, but I've always felt like a jack of all trades. Jill is the first time I've heard Jill.
I was like, she said it wrong, and I was like, wait, that's cool.
Because you're a female.
Yeah.
Her.
Or however you identify, it's
Yes.
fine.
So yeah, I've always felt like that, where I'm just like never mastered anything.
Mm-hmm.
And last year I was like, I need to do something, and like, whether I'm going to be a master in podcasting, which I don't know, but it's something that I need to start being consistent at. And this is my project that I'm trying to be consistent at.
There you go.
So
I'm like, well, I love talking.
Yeah, I guess I do love talking.
Like,
I don't
that's not
know.
gonna stop.
It's all like it's like the deprived talking from when I was a child. I didn't talk much, so
there you go.
now I'm just like, can't stop talking.
It stems from somewhere.
But yeah, so okay, so that back to you. So you're doing this business. Do you see like yourself actually like naming your business and maybe having like a storefront, or always just being online? Like where do you see your future in this business?
For now, I want to just focus on the marketing and make some more money so I can fund it. I do want to grow into a company maybe one day. Have a name for it. I just haven't gone that far.
Have you considered any names?
Not yet. No.
Do you know a lot of people who own businesses? Like, are you talking to anyone that's kind of like helping you like figure out what to do for your next steps?
I mean, I've always been very like not reliant, but like self-sufficient. Yeah. I know a lot of people that have businesses, but they never give you like the answers or like, you know, the full answer on like what you got to do, because, you know, some of them started off not knowing anything, and they're just, you know, learning as well.
Right.
So the only thing I do take from people that are in businesses is like just trying to get out there, promote, network, that sort of thing. But as far as like, no one, I don't really, I don't really know anyone.
Do you talk about your business pretty much with everyone?
With everyone.
Okay.
Everyone at my job.
Yeah.
School.
So
like
people at your job, do they reach out to you?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes
That's
they
cool.
do, and then a lot of times they just forget about it.
I used to do that when I worked at Trader Joe's. I would sell my prints, and I would talk about it all the time. I would bring them to work.
Yeah.
And I would show people, and then they'd be like, "Oh, I really like that. Like, how much?" And I would just tell them, you know. Because I forgot where I heard. I think on a podcast, like, just talk about your business or your side hustle, like, all the time. Like, if it's that important to you, then like show it, you know. And then people that you walk their dog at work, like, they probably give you referrals too.
Right, definitely. Oh yeah. Well, sometimes it just happens like out of emergency, and they're just like, "Hey, I need you," so it helps a lot.
You do dog sitting too, right?
I do dog sitting. I've done house sitting and dog sitting as well.
Shit. That's really cool because I might go on vacation. So.
It's really cool because then you have accommodations. You know, you don't have to pay for that.
Yeah.
So there you go, you know.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Not many expenses except you have to drive, just gas, and like they provide the food. It's pretty much just your time.
Yeah.
And then while you're there, you can even be working on like your website or other things too.
Yeah. I love that part of like that aspect of like working from home, but also being with like, you know, your pet that you have to take care of.
I like that you mentioned that you ask people about their business and how they got started and they don't really tell you, because I find myself running into that same roadblock where I talk to people about businesses that they've started and things like that, and they don't really give you any answers. The closest thing is, I think your sister, she gave good advice about like, she's like, just go to the small business
go to the small business
bureau department, whatever,
get your business licensed, and then from there they have all the resources.
Right. And so that center organization, they help you with marketing, they help you with legal, they help you with like literally every step. Yeah, that's the closest advice I've ever gotten to starting your own business. But I think, people need to stop gatekeeping and like holding their secrets. Right?
They know what's up.
They know what you're asking, but they're just like they're like shying away from telling you. I don't know.
I think the closest I've gone to good advice is with my boyfriend, because he has his own small business, and but it's 3 people that worked on it, so there was more support, and I guess you could say there is one of his partners is older, so he's a little bit more knowledgeable in small business, and he knew everything about what you were talking about. But yeah, he started telling me everything about licensing, but not the marketing part. I've got that down.
I feel like marketing is like one of the hardest things, and I think it's the most important one nowadays. So you learn that stuff all on your own?
I'm actually looking into taking some classes, but a lot of it was done through just research.
Yeah, like YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
YouTube is its own class on its own, for sure.
It is. It's so helpful.
That's really cool, though.
What are things that you've learned about, like, from just starting this business? What have you learned about business or dogs?
Oh. Wow.
Is it almost therapeutic to have like a dog beside you too?
It is. I've actually
considered
an emotional support dog.
Yeah.
I love that part of just having like someone, you know, like I think of them as like my family.
Yeah.
But they're just so empathetic. They're so like their love is so strong, and you know, they have no idea like how strong of like, you know, impact that can have on a human. And I wish I could like show it to them better. But
what are things that people do that you've noticed that they probably shouldn't do with their pets? Or like, do you have any tips or things that you've seen that you're like, you shouldn't be doing that?
Definitely neglecting them.
Like how?
I've went into a lot of people's homes that neglected their dogs, and it was really sad.
Like they don't feed them or something, or
They're just not, they don't give them enough time and attention,
mm-hmm.
and you can just tell that they're struggling, um, or just even trying to like understand them a little bit more, because obviously they can't talk, but just like understanding their posture, their, like, it's a psychological thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for all the pet parents out there, just try to like seek like behaviors from your pets,
Yeah.
just try to understand it a little bit more.
Do you know what like red flags are for some dogs?
um in like dog walking, I notice a lot of dogs could be skittish and like try to lead, and
Right.
or when parents don't take initiative, like on like letting them know who's the boss,
Mm-hmm.
because that can really escalate situations. Dogs are very, like, some of them are very unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked with large dogs, brothers, that have like attacked each other and almost attacked me,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh,
that
yeah.
was very
That's
intimidating.
That's the scary part.
Yeah, so I think like a pet parent shouldn't just be like, all right, go ahead, just go walk them. Like, no, they definitely got to be trained. You like, it's no joke. Your dog can potentially hurt someone, and people just don't take that into consideration, I
Right.
guess.
So when you walk dogs, because I've heard that if they have the collar on, it's actually bad for them versus like maybe a harness or versus like I don't know what other things people use to walk their dogs. That dog has a harness right now. It's cute. Have you learned about anything like that? Like, do collars actually, is that a no when you're walking?
I would say, yeah, for like a new walker, yeah, I wouldn't use a collar. Definitely use a harness. There's also other ways, but some people consider that inhumane.
What?
Like I just had one dog that had this, so I'm not too sure what it's called. It's like the metal, they're like metal little clamp looking
Oh,
things.
like the choke chain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
You would suggest it?
I wouldn't.
Oh.
I would not suggest that. It's hard seeing dogs with that, because they would always like feel uncomfortable.
Right.
And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. And I should have, like, I feel like even as like being in this business, I should have like extra collars,
Yeah.
or like a harness.
Do you carry on like poop bags?
I definitely poop bags.
Yeah.
I have this little mechanism that cleans their paws. Some of them get really dirty.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you about so dog shoes. What do you think about that? What's your take?
They're the cutest thing ever.
They're so cute. But do you think like it's uncomfortable for them, or like is it overall just more beneficial? What do you think?
I think it's beneficial if you find the right ones.
Okay.
There are some that are uncomfortable from what I've seen, but I think a lot of people are working on the kind of like shoes that you can give to your dogs. I feel like there should be more services for that.
Right.
But yeah, I understand, like, some people can, they notice that their dogs look kind of silly, but they're just not used to it, and you just gotta, get them
used to it.
That, yeah.
Because overall, like when you walk them, some of them like are burning their paws, right? And that's not good.
Yeah. In the summer, especially here in Alhambra, I slowly work in like Alhambra, Pasadena.
Oh, these are nice places.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to K-Town?
K-Town? Not
Oh,
necessarily K-Town.
You do not want to walk a dog in K-Town.
Oh.
It's terrible. It's so dirty over there.
I think the worst area was City Terrace.
Yeah.
Like East LA, only because there's a lot of like just food. like thrown, like people just throw their food in wrappers and stuff, and you just don't want your dogs being around that.
Okay, so we only have like 5 more minutes. This went by fast, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad. Were you a little nervous?
A little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's a little nerve-wracking, I know. I still get nervous sometimes too. And Jasmine's my emotional support.
I'm an emotional support animal.
Right, Riley right here is our little
And Riley is an emotional support. No, I still get nervous though. I don't know why she doesn't. She just doesn't care.
She's extroverted.
She is extroverted.
I am?
Maybe, because I think you're more social. You like talk to people and like you're comfortable doing that. I'm not.
People say I am, but I don't feel like I am.
Maybe because it's just natural to you.
I've gotten that from some people, but I don't agree. I feel like I'm partial, like a outgoing introvert.
I'd say I'm the same too, because I also like to be home, and then I also don't like to talk to certain people. I'm also very like off-putting too. I'm like, if I don't want to talk to you, I won't talk to you.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was gonna ask you. Okay, your name is Karen, right? Obviously, you already know.
A big old question.
So what's it like with your name lately?
I think the funniest thing was like the beginning of the Karen memes was when I went to a DMV, and normally like a DMV is it's just such a boring, terrible time. But for the first time, like I had a full-on conversation with one of the I guess cashiers or
whatever you call them.
Whatever you
They're
call
monsters.
them. Yeah, let's call them monsters. She just went on and on about like, so how does it feel?
Wow.
Like,
What a bitch.
oh my god,
It's all me.
Right?
So what's it like?
Right? I'm like, damn, could it get any worse? Like, okay, girl, all right. You know what? I'm not like, I don't take things personal because it's obviously not who I am.
It's obviously not your fault either.
Yeah.
Like,
It'd be worse if you were white.
yeah, true. It'd also be worse if you had blonde spiky hair.
Oh god, I've avoided getting short blonde hair.
Yeah, you thought about
Can't
it though.
do it now.
I'll just shave it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So does anyone ever make fun of you? Like,
for sure.
Okay.
Even before the Karen memes, there was
Yeah.
always like Karen from Mean Girls.
oh yeah.
It's
about
just
her.
always something that's been in my like since high school, going back to bowling.
Do you blame your parents? You're like, why'd you name me Karen? I'm just kidding.
You know what? That question did come across, but I don't blame them.
for naming you Karen?
I think okay, so my
'Cause you're
dad
Mexican.
exactly. Okay, so my dad and my mom are very Americanized. You know, they
They wanted to be more Americanized.
pretty
makes
much. Yeah,
Okay.
they wanted to just I guess you could say they wanted to blend in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're like, what's the most American name?
It's the whitest
and
name.
it's on like every meme now. They got it. They did pretty
They
well.
actually picked the right
Yeah.
I've come. I'm on TV now, Mom.
Yeah, it's like in the dictionary now.
It really is.
Yeah.
I've made it.
Yes. Your name is also being slowly extinct. So
Oof.
yeah, I read like a statistic about like the names Karen kind of just like not disappearing.
about that,
Like, people
yeah.
aren't naming their kids.
I think your business name should have your name in it.
Oh God.
Yes, it definitely should. It should be like the cool Karen or something. Like,
I'm cool.
yeah, don't worry, I'm the cool Karen. Like, that's way too long, but like, it should definitely have your name.
Don't worry, I'm the cool Karen.
The cool, yeah.
That's a long sign.
So
Yeah, it should be long.
Beside Karen, there's gonna be cool Karen in the dictionary.
Yeah, and it's just you walking dogs. There you go.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. We have about like a minute left. Is there anything you want to say, or is there a fun fact about you, or something people don't know about you?
Something weird about you?
Something weird about me. Something weird about maybe someone might remember me in high school. I was that one girl who wore socks with sandals.
Yeah.
Socks with sandals.
Yeah.
I almost did that today.
Yeah,
But I thought you were gonna judge me.
I would.
Well,
I'm
it was
just
so
kidding.
judged back then too, but now
I wear
people
socks
wear
with
like
sandals
people-
when I walk Kobe.
exactly, yeah. Like you wear
But
your
you did that in high
Crocs.
school. That's cool.
I did that in high
Yeah.
school.
Yes.
That's cool.
Well,
That means that you didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
not really. I had like a medical excuse for it, so
Okay.
yeah, I
Alright.
had really bad. I used to dance, so I had really bad feet. I had like a lot of ingrowns.
Damn.
So a lot of people thought I was badass, but no, I had.
You were hiding something.
Yeah.
You were badass still.
All right. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I like to learn about your business, and I don't know. I guess I'll like put your little. Do you have Instagram for it?
Yeah, it would just be my. Well, it's not my personal, but Amora Raven, AMOURAAVEN.
Okay.
Put it on there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.